What up, y'all? So, I've been finding standard really boring, to be perfectly honest. So, I'm just fiddling around with decks that are pretty normal. Like, I've been fiddling around with, like, Imbue, Paladin, Dragon Warrior, Aura Paladin, just, basic stuff. I've been doing a little bit of brewing with Imbue Rogue as well. And so this time I'm going to try Dragon Warrior with Elise. I like Elise and Dragon Warrior a lot, and I'm not a super big fan of Fire Rock in Dragon Warrior, the 10 mana guy that casts a bunch of random spells. If you know me, I'm not a fan of casting random spells in general. Fire Rock is usually pretty decent, but it's still a random effect, and so it's pretty much less reliable. So I was wondering, what if I just did a Wisp instead of a Fire Rock? So other than the Wisp, everything's fairly normal in this type of deck. So I'm just gonna kind of see how it runs. Normally, I think it's probably one in every 10 games I play Fire Rock, and that's still kind of pushing it. That's not super often. So I figured, Dragon Warrior wants to be aggressive. Why don't I just try, Wisp, since it kind of coincides with that same early aggression that I'm going for. But I do like being able to rely on the potential of like a Zilliax to save the day if you kind of get in, deep water too quickly, or at least being able to push that power level kind of over the edge. It's pretty sweet. I kind of like that. So I'm gonna give it a try, see what happens. Um, I think the big crux of this deck is like Slither Drake into Windpeak Worm. That's just humongous value. Obviously, it's great to go like Gift Wrapped Whelp into Petal Peddler or Brood Keeper, something like that. But in my experience, if you land, two Slither Drake, that's incredible. I mean, the guy's like a 4 mana 6/9, which is just bonkers. But then if you do that into Windpeak Worm, into other stuff, it's usually pretty difficult to answer that, especially if you've got early game threats. So let's see what I can do here. Yeah, I didn't love keeping the precursory strikes, but it is very possible. Like Protoss Mage, or excuse me, Protoss Priest, doesn't seem super common nowadays. I encounter it very rarely, but precursory strike is decent against them just to counter some of that early aggression. So not the best, not the worst hand here. I normally don't like running out Petal Peddler unless I can get an activation out of him. So this is kind of an awkward spot. I could go coin into like Portal Vanguard. That's not great though. I don't like not doing anything this turn because they've already got some source of momentum here, and it's just going to continue, I would imagine. I would like to coin into turn 3 Prescient Slither Drake. That's normally pretty strong. Um, so yeah, you know what? Why don't I... let's just do this. Because this also incentivizes them to use their hero power on their guy, which would mean they only have 1 mana to do things and advance their board state. So that's definitely better than... Okay, or they could just do that. Sure. I mean, I guess that's fine. So yeah, I think from here, it's kind of hard not to Slither Drake. I mean, Slither Drake is a fantastic card. And usually the amount of resources your opponent devotes to it, to either killing it or getting, doing something with it, makes it worth the investment. The only time I think twice about Slither Drake is against Rogue, because Dubious Purchase can be really difficult to answer. Because if you, especially when you don't have a board, if you trade resources a little bit, say they flashback, or something where they're creating early value and aggression, and then you trade resources, empty board, you drop a Slither Drake, then they Dubious Purchase, and you're like, well, I'm in a worse spot, you have card advantage. It's really not good. Um, this turn could go a couple different ways. So I definitely need to play a dragon this turn because Windpeak Worm next turn will be pretty important. The question is, how do I sequence this? Like, well, the Infinite is decent, but I'm not sure. Well, but the Infinite is probably just going to die to the Void Ray. I kind of want a Portal Vanguard and Gift Wrapped Whelp. That's probably okay. But I'm not really liking this game so far. I think Protoss Priest is a decent deck, and the higher your skill level, the greater the deck is. I guess Whelp's not bad there, because then I'm going to have a 1-mana 5/4 off of it. There are definitely better things I could get, but I think that's okay, believe it or not. It's going to be a big dude. It'll incentivize them to trade with some of my guys, I think. I hope. That's the thing. I hope this makes it so they want to trade guys. If they just keep bashing my face and advancing their board state, then I might be in trouble. Oh boy. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I really am on my heels here. Gotta find a way to reverse this momentum. Yeah, there's a couple ways I can do these trades here. I think so. Windpeak Worm is definitely happening because I also want to give myself some insulation in terms of life total. 9 is pretty low, and they've got enough of the zealot type of things like, and they could like hallucination make another one that would be pretty problematic. So I think we're gonna do this. And I'm gonna use it on this guy. He's got lower health than this one, but I can trade with the others. Yeah, I think we'll just do this. So not great, but at least I have, 17 power is nothing to gawk at here. So from this point, I need to really make something out of the remaining cards in my hand. Like, the problem with Whelp of the Infinite is they've got Divine Shield with Void Ray, as well as... Ooh, Photon Cannon's good. Okay. As well as they have that card, what is it, Orbital Halo? Yeah, Orbital Halo, which gives something Divine Shield. So not the greatest here. Portal Vanguard seems decent. Considering they have already played one Void Ray and one Orbital Halo, it's probably safe to throw one Whelp of the Infinite out there, especially because my board is pretty decent. I'm thinking maybe Portal Vanguard and Whelp are the play here. I think, what did, oh, that's what the Whelp hit 2 turns ago, I think. So, yeah, let's see what we draw, because we definitely need some gas in this position, too. Ooh, like Nomelia's a great draw. That's fantastic. I don't think it's going to get any better than that, because it's very likely that they resuscitate sometime soon. I mean, if they don't have resuscitate, then I'm doing much better, because they're down to 3 cards, obviously. But, yeah, I don't really want to, but I feel like I kind of need to fend off any aggression here. It's going to help them, obviously, for their dudes to cost less. But I need board position and board control at the same time. You probably could make a case for armoring up. Ooh, that's really good that they did nothing there. That's fantastic. So now at least I get another turn or so to set up some more. Nightmare Lord is a decent draw also, because now, like, this hitting Ziliax would be amazing. Giving Ziliax, like, Reborn with full enchantments is phenomenal. Windpeak Worm, Battlecry twice is amazing. Elise, same thing. There's a couple really good things that can happen here, but there are a lot of cards I can get, so it's pretty slim pickings. I think it's probably the best play, though. And I'll probably Gift Wrap Whelp and Armor Up. Not the greatest. Lifesteal is helpful, though. Dark Rider's nice, because discovering a dragon with a Dark Gift gives me some potential. Tormented Dreadwing is just a little costly is the problem. But being an 8/5 lifesteal, I think, is pretty relevant. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to take that. And then we're going to Armor Up, throw that guy. Hopefully that hits the Dreadwing. Nah. Okay, so decent board. I assume Resuscitate is coming anytime now. They could also have something like Ziliax, which isn't awful because they're obviously at a decent life total, but it just would be difficult to answer. Sure, okay. Are they going just face? Yeah. They're just focused on face. But yeah, I don't hate this position now. Ooh, okay, Wind Peak Worm's good. I could Dracorex, but I think Wind Peak and... Yeah, because the armor's very relevant here. Anything I can do to give myself a little bit more leeway is great. So this game could be turning around, but if they draw Resuscitate at any point here, that could be very difficult. Yeah, I haven't been too happy with the standard metagame lately. It seems like, this happens every time there's a rotation coming. We're about a month away from rotation, I think. I think it's like mid-March it happens. We are the voice of Iron. There's a mothership with Reborn. Good lord. That's not good. With the hallucination? Alright. So, that's not good. That's very bad. But yeah, like I was saying, not too happy with the standard metagame. It just gets really stagnant around this time whenever there's a rotation coming, so not really much you can do, I guess. And this takes double damage, right? Yeah, so... Man, but each one of these is going to give them 2 random Protoss minions, so they're going to get 8 if I kill both of them, but I have to kill both of them, otherwise I die. So, yeah, I don't think there's another way I can really slice this. And the Reborn with full enchantments is crazy. So we'll do this one. And the Reborn. And this one still takes double damage. So I could do this. Nomelia is not bad, actually. That's 6 plus the 2. I think that's fine. We'll go here, here, and then 5 more. Do that. Oh no, I should have. Darn it! Alright, that's the way it goes. It's fine. I should have hit with that and then done the whelp on the second one, but. Eesh, that's rough. Alright, so we're basically dead. And the Archon. Very, very well played. Yeah, they gave us a little shot there to take it down, or at least redirect the momentum, but... Yeah, double Mothership is very difficult to deal with like that. Hallucinate's a phenomenal card. I don't remember what set it's from. I can't remember for the life of me if we're gonna keep it in standard after rotation, but... Fascinating card. Yeah, I definitely like Dragon Warrior a lot in this metagame. It seems like I've been seeing, the weird thing is I've been seeing a lot of those whiz-bang decks, the experimental deck. That's just so silly. I think at one point, it might have been last week, it was like the top deck played in the entire standard metagame globally. It was just ridiculous. I think that shifted pretty quickly to Control Warrior being pretty heavily played as well. It's just, yeah, very, very weird metagame. I don't hate Peddler into Portal Vanguard, but I think I can do much better. Having a 1-drop into this guy is obviously ideal. Well, no dice. Alright, Sanguine Depths is fine. Well, it looks like my Hearthstone tracker... Wow, looked like that crashed. That's crazy. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Hearthstone tracker is always weird when we start getting new cards. Sometimes it'll crash or it'll just not work properly because there's, weird data and stuff. So you always got to make sure you update it. Alright, so Dragon Warrior Mirror is interesting to say the least. I, I'm tempted to jam out Peddler and just poke this guy. Broodkeeper's not bad, especially... The question is, what could they do? They have the coin, so they could play a 3-drop next turn. Whelp of the Infinite, Portal Vanguard. Some people play Whelp of the Bronze, which I don't think is good. What am I worried about here? I think it's probably fine. And that also doesn't telegraph the Broodkeeper. I think if I played the Broodkeeper, that might change the way that they play the next turn. So if they play something that Broodkeeper can attack and kill, then it's decent to have it here. But if they drop, like, Whelp of the Infinite, that would be annoying. But it's at least manageable. That's fine. Well, we're definitely going to Broodkeeper, but let's Dark Rider and see what we get first, just in case it's better. Ooh, well, Slither Drake's fantastic. See, I was going to hold the Whelp for next turn just so that I made sure I had Windpeak Worm on 5, but Slither Drake into Windpeak Worm is even better. And like I said, Broodkeeper now takes this out, and I retain pretty good board control here. It's very possible if I played this last turn, then they would have played something else besides the Whelp. Yeah, like they had the Portal Vanguard. Okay. Yeah, you'd much rather lose a Portal Vanguard to the Broodkeeper attack than the Gift-Wrapped Whelp. But yeah, this is great position here. I think... Yeah, this is what we're going to do. Let's just make sure we retain control of this board. Boom. And the Reborn is amazing. Is it full stats? Yeah, Reborn with full health and enchantments. I don't remember if that means it's going to keep this +1/+1 from the Peddler. Oh, wow! They got their own big boy over there. So let's see. I think this works out okay, because Windpeak Worm can hit it. That'd be 5, plus this is 12. Yeah, that seems fine. I would much rather hit them for 7 in their face, but retaining control of this board is humongous here. They have a lot more cards than I do, though, so if I do fall behind in like the attrition status, then that could be bad. If I run out of cards and they find a way to deal with this board, then I'm in trouble. But hopefully Portal Vanguard gives me something nice. Stonecarver is great too, because, you know, dropping that next turn could help pump this guy back up. Yeah, I'm still really surprised they gave Slither Drake elusive. It just makes it so much harder to kill. Ay. Okay, then. Well, I think we're just going to do this. Yeah, they gain 9, but I'm still retaining complete control of this board. Cool, and it does keep the Peddler enchantments. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to drop double Slither Drake, otherwise I would have prioritized the Whelp of the Infinite a little bit higher. I like Portal Vanguard here, but I think Tormented Dreadwing is the call, because it's bigger, and it's going to draw us more dragons, which is huge. So 21 attack on board seems pretty solid. Yeah, the Reborn on this guy was clutch. That was super big. Okay. I'm very tempted to trade here. That'll draw me 2 dragons. Yeah, and anything I can do to just maintain control of this board is going to be really helpful. Peddler and Portal, sure. Alright, let's draw some more gas, I guess. Yeah. Yes, please. Probably should have played the Dark Rider before the Portal Vanguard. Might have been a little hasty there. So getting something good off of this is awesome. Oof, goodness. I'm a big fan of Conflux Crasher. It's not a great card by any means, but sometimes it's just that little extra reach you need. And a 7 mana 9/9 seems good. Fire Rack is good, but I'm not sure how much it's going to matter here. I could make a case for Fire Rock. It's a 10 mana 11/12. Yeah, it's probably a decent follow-up to Ziliax if I end up getting there too, though. Alright, so let's do this, and just in case we'll have this guy. It is possible I'm overcommitting to the board, but they're still a turn away from potentially playing Dracorex. I don't remember if they played their coin, though. So they could coin Dracorex if they still have it. But I think that's unlikely here. If Hearthstone Tracker didn't crash, I would know if they had their coin. Sure, totally fine. Let's see what we get off of this. So I don't want to, but I could throw this here and then Stone Carver. So this would go to 8 health after that at the end of the turn. Yeah, let's see what Portal Vanguard gives me first. Ooh, that's phenomenal. And it's an 8/8? Goodness. So yeah, I'm just gonna, okay, timeout. Let's do some math here, actually. This is 11, 15, 16, that's 21. So I can put them at 2. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. And I'm actually tempted not to play the Wind Peak here, because then it doesn't... Yeah, you know what? I think that's fine. Because I'm a big proponent of not telegraphing too much. Like, if you have some direct damage, then playing it immediately shows them how low they are. Like, right now, it's like 7 is not high by any means, but... you know, if you're at 2, you're like, I need life. So you're going to prioritize armor, you're going to prioritize taunt minions, stuff like that. Oh, well, hello there. Big boy. So at this point, they're obviously going to try and take care of as many minions as possible, but I only need another 2 damage because I have Wind Peak Worm. So they may set up a position where they think they're safe, but then, no. Okay. We got them anyway. Alright, so 1-1 after 2 games. Not bad. Yeah, that game, I didn't want to say it too early, but it seemed like it was in the bag. Like, as soon as I had multiple guys on board and just every turn they were just playing basically one guy, yeah, it seemed like the momentum was heavily in my favor.
Versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Now you're sailing on my seas.
So sometimes against Mage and Druid, I keep Wind Peak Worm so that I can hit it on curve. This might be one of those situations where I do that. I'm still not entirely sure if it's super correct, but I find that it helps, especially if you have, like with this hand, if I have Peddler and if I can just mull into a 1-drop, so I go 1-drop, 2-drop, You know, hopefully... Yeah, there we go. So, like, Slither Drake into Windpeak Worm is great against Mage and Druid normally. Okay. Quest to your heart's desire, sir. Yeah, I'm normally not too scared of Quest Mage. It all depends on the quality of their discovers. So if they get lucky, what are you going to do? That's the way it goes. Ooh, the best draw possible. Yeah, Depths into Stonecarver is the strongest turn 1 into 2 play that this deck has. Turn 3 you're attacking for 5, then 7 on turn 4, and it amps up so fast. Ooh, that could do it though. Alright. Well done. But I think here... I want a Slither Drake, but I think I'm going to Nightmare Lord so that I can Slither Drake next turn into Windpeak Worm. I gotta play a Dragon on turn 4 to lead into this guy, but... Yeah, this guy is so strong on turn 3. The only problem is if somehow they get rid of this guy, then the only thing I've got dragon-wise for turn 4 is Peddler, and that alone is obviously not good. Yeah, my gut is telling me just Slither Drake, but I can logically justify Nightmare Lord and then Slither Drake next turn, but I think this is the correct play. It's always a balance in my experience of, like, what is your intuition telling you versus, like, what can you logically justify. When the two align, that's obviously going to give you the most powerful play 90% of the time. But sometimes they kind of go in different directions, and you got to be able to parse out which one is worth trusting. Yeah, looks like they're probably taking 6 next turn. That would be good. Excellent. Yo, what up, Shadow? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, Whelp of the Infinite is fine. I think Peddler's still better here because it'll pump this guy. I'm very tempted to use this, actually. You know, let's get as much damage in there as possible. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I really am not a big fan of the standard metagame right now. It just feels so stagnant and slow. Nobody's doing any innovating, which makes sense because of where we're at this close to rotation. But, you know, that makes me not want to play. Like, it gets so boring. Yeah, I think we just Windpeak Worm and keep bashing here. Yeah, this is a great position. Yeah, it's hard to beat turn 3 Prussian Slither Drake, like... End of your turn, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. Okay, and then Spellburst summons another one. That's pretty good. Don't see that card too often. I don't think they play that, right? That's just... I guess they play it? I would have expected them to have discovered that. That's interesting. No, but I guess they're discovering mainly spells, so yeah. Makes sense. And hopefully Nightmare Lord can get me something with charge. That would be dope. There's another. Oh, wow. So crazy. That was a pretty good turn for them. But we got him. There it is. Yeah, so I think in that case it was correct to keep the Windpeak Worm in my opening hand, because against Mage and Druid specifically, if you can have a really aggressive draw, they have a hard time keeping up. So, but yeah, I'm really liking this build so far. The Wisp instead of the Fire Rock seems questionable just at a glance, but I think it really It helps. I mean, it's taken one dragon away, which is something, because you want your dragon count to be at least 13 in my experience, if not 14 or 15. So I think I'm at 14 dragons since I took Fire Rock out. And you almost never play Fire Rock. It's cool and all, but if Dragon Warrior is getting past turn 10 or 11, then you're probably not going to win that game a lot of the times. So against a warrior, this could be Control or Dragon Warrior. If it's Dragon Warrior, Whelp of the Infinite's fantastic against them. I think I'm throwing that back. Pretty sure I gotta throw Portal Vanguard back. So this is the thing. If this is Control, then I think I do this. If this is Dragon Warrior, I think I do this. I think in a bubble, this is probably what I'm gonna do. But I'm very tempted just to do this. Yeah, just in case, I think I'm going to hold on to the Whelp. Because if this is Dragon Warrior and, like, having an answer to their Prescient Slither Drakes is great. Oh, wow. Okay, please don't be Control now, because having double Whelp is really bad against Control. Please. Okay, good. Yes. Whew. Thank goodness. I don't think I can justify Coined Stonecarver. That sounds silly. It's normally not great in this position for them to have a turn 1 play and you to have nothing, especially in this mirror. Because whoever, kind of like that game, that, what was it, 2 games ago, where I just got the board and controlled the board against that Dragon Warrior player, that made a huge difference. I could Portal Vanguard here off the coin. I think Prescient Slither Drake next turn off the coin is, I mean, it's objectively better. Yeah, we'll Dark Rider. Ooh, this triggering twice is pretty good. Yeah, let's do that. I don't think I'll get the opportunity, but it would be a nice trade here. I assume Broodmaster or Sanguine Depth, something like that, will get in the way. Dirty Rat? Excuse me? Bro! That's... Oh, that was gnarly. Who plays Dirty Rat? What? Okay, then. Dirty Rat is fascinating. Imagine if that hit the Slither Drake. Come on now. Come on now. I'm tempted by Whelp, but I think Slither Drake is probably still the call. There's something that's making me lean toward Whelp, though. Yeah, I think... Let's see how this goes. I'm going to kind of trust my intuition here. Sometimes my gut just speaks to me and I can't really tell why, but this feels like the better play. Even though this logically seems like the call. It's always great to have this guy out a turn sooner. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what this format's going to look like without Ziliax. Elise and Ziliax are just huge format defining cards, so it'll be very cool to see what happens after Ziliax is gone. So I could double Stonecarver. I could smack this, double Stonecarver. It'll be a 5/7. Is that good, though, is the question. I think it's probably all right. Let's give it a run. Or excuse me, 5-6, not 7. So I guess they could take out the Whelp right now, Elise and their hero, but then I do have the Reborn one. So I'm not sure this is a very good position for them. Sure. Okay, alright. Seems fine to me. Well, hello, Nomelia. So this is definitely smacking one of those. Question is what to follow up with. I think Slither Drake is a great drop here. Very tempted by another Whelp, though. I think I gotta drop this guy. Let's get +1 attack. Oh, every time it takes damage. Sure. Kind of want a Coin Peddler, but yeah, I think having a pretty solid board state here will be helpful. Ooh, both hit though. Well, let's go. Ooh, that's brutal. Okay. Well done. So this gets interesting, because I feel like Portal Vanguard is a good way to draw some more gas here. Yeah, I could Vanguard and Whelp. That seems reasonable. I don't think I can justify Nomelia here. Yeah. I think I can do much better than that. Something good, come on. Yeah, that's alright. It's not the worst. 2 mana 4/5 is decent, plus the weapon. These guys are very annoying. It's just big enough to be a nuisance. You know what? I think, yeah, Broodkeeper is the play here. Let's do that. Just to make sure they don't have multiple guys out there when they can give everything +2 attack.
Inside voices.
Ooh, very nice. Well done. That is something I miss a little bit. I'm not playing Royal Librarian. He's played in some Dragon War versions, but I couldn't quite justify the spot in this deck. I went with Nightmare Lord instead.
What horror will hatch?
Oof. I assume this is all going face. 13 puts me at 8. That's not a good position for me. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I'm very happy with them attacking minions here. Is 9 going to my face? Yeah, that makes sense. So I feel a little obligated to Nomelia just to make sure this guy's gone.
What now?
Nightmare Lord could give me something good, and if it doesn't, I've got Whelp to follow up with. But then I'm likely going to take another 7, which doesn't seem reasonable to accept. Yeah, I don't want to, but I feel a little obligated here. Then we can go like this. And I don't think I can justify taking the 2 here. Yeah, you gotta be very careful with your life total once you get close to the single digits. Because if they start dropping like Wind Peak Worms and stuff like that, I'm in trouble. Yeah, it's not great. It's fine. Yeah, these are those situations where Ziliacs help a lot. Well then. Okie dokie. And they play... Oh, okay, I was going to say, running Execute is wild, but yeah, getting that off a Terror Run makes sense. Oof. Worst possible, okay. I don't know that anything will save me now. Let's see. Well, Ziliacs, you're, darn. Yeah, nothing's gonna do anything here.
You really put the old heave-ho into it.
And there it is. Alright, 2-2 after 4 games. 50-50. Not the worst, not the best. Smack dab in the middle. Surprising how many Dragon Warrior mirrors I'm playing. Yeah, I'm very excited for the standard game metagame to shift. This will be pretty cool. Seems like there's some pretty powerful cards coming in Cataclysm.
Now you're sailing on my seas.
And not a great hand here. Broodkeeper's fine. I don't know that I can justify keeping a Wisp. Very possible this is Protoss Priest, which I guess Wisp doesn't make a difference. Let's try this. Okay. Decent curve. Not really in love with any of these. I guess Chilma could be okay. I'm not loving it though. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Dragon Turtle just because it's gonna give me a better curve. But you could have made a case for the others, I suppose.
What horror?
On the offensive.
Step forth into the time ways.
Ooh, not bad. I'm keeping that.
Dive and destroy. Annihilation commencing.
Pretty good.
Dive and destroy.
Good old Chrono Boost. Very powerful card. Yeah, I think we're losing a lot of the Protoss minions for Priest at least in the rotation, so that'll be interesting to see how that changes up the game. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to do this. I don't think I care too much about their 3-3. Just apply maximum pressure. Yeah, that's something that's it's kind of a part of the nuance of playing Dragon Warrior. You got to know when you should just be applying pressure. Because if you're always just going face, you might as well be playing face hunter. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so it was correct to get rid of that guy. Oops. Oh no. Okay, yeah, this momentum shifted very quickly. So let's see, if I know Melia, that's 6 here. Yeah, I kind of think I should know Melia here. It takes out most of their board. Problem is, if I know Melia, they'll have this guy left as a 3-1. Or no, excuse me, they won't. Just kidding. No, this will take out the entire board. So I think, yeah, as much as I don't want to do it, it is pretty necessary here. And there's the... Jeez. Pretty good. Yeah, so that was kind of what I was considering was if I get rid of their board or most of their board, whatever, then if they follow up, if I have no board and they follow up with pretty much anything on board, then it kind of reverses the momentum of this game, and then I'm on my heels, which is not a great position for Dragon Warrior. Dragon Warrior normally wants to put the opponent on their heels because it's much harder to react to a prescient Slither Drake. Yeah, none of the cards in this deck are super reactionary. Okay, Elise is decent. I think I'm probably going to Nightmare Lord in then Elise. Yeah, let's see what we can get off of this. Show me something good. Wind Peak Worm with charge is pretty good. I don't mind that at all. This will be... Okay, timeout. So this will cost 2. Wow, for a 4/9.
What now?
That's actually really solid. How do you not? Yeah, I don't think this is a great matchup in general. Because, yeah, the Resuscitate alone is just brutal half the time. Well, there's a Wind Peak Worm. That's not bad. I think Elise and then playing Terror Run is a pretty solid choice here. It means that Wind Peak Worm will cost 8 next turn. But I think that's okay. Yeah, Elise is so strong. It's kind of hard not to play her every time you can. Go Terror Run. Let's see here. What do I do? Alright, so seems good. I think I do activate this. I'm not super stoked to, but I've never cast Sands of Time before. That should be fun. Do this here, this, and not stoked for this to come back with Reborn, but it's fine. Now this is going to get Void Ray, which is, yeah, or does it get Void Ray? No, it does get Void Ray. Those cost, no, those cost 0 now. I think that's even better. So what does it get? I don't think, I think there's probably one catch of the day left. Yo, okay. A little annoying, but that is manageable. So discover a spell from any class, or just my class if I rewind. I mean, let's see. That would be hilarious. Freeze a character. And so, yeah, I could freeze a character and draw a card. Not the greatest, though. It's the only one there. So I could give something in my hand +4/+4. Not great. I kind of like freezing a character, but I don't know. I don't know if that's worth rewinding. Because rewinding it, I feel like I could get something much worse. Yeah, you know what? I can get some decent momentum here because I can do this, and I can still Windpeak Worm, kill the other guy. Ooh, Stonecarver could be good. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Nah, we're gonna do that. Yeah, I was gonna Peddler for a second, and I was like, wait, I don't have dragons, though. I mean, if I play the Whelp, I have a dragon, but that's... it's okay.
We are the voice of I.
Well, hello, Mothership. Please no hallucination. That would be the actual worst.
We are the voice.
Yo, okay. So both times I've played against Protoss Priest, they've had double Mothership in the same turn. Must be nice to run that hot. Of course. Okay. Well, I don't think I have much of a choice, but let's do this. 3, 6 there. So let's see, that would be 5. Oh, okay, I think I do this. Yeah, I don't like getting rid of the Stonecarver, but that makes space for these guys. Draw 2 taunt minions. I'm not really stoked about any of these. This will draw me Ziliax. I don't know that there's much else I can get from it, though. Let's see. Just Ziliax. Well, not the worst. Let's run it. Holy momentum shift, Batman.
I am out of space.
Yo, what was that? Set every minion's attack and health to the lower of the 2. Okay. You don't see that card very often. So they got a bunch of cards off of those motherships. That's not good. But it is random, so it could just be more sentries or something like that. I just hope it's not something that'll turn into an Archon. Ooh, not good. Alright, talk about momentum shift. Again. And that costs, what, 4? That's nuts. Yo. Alright, safe to say this game might be over, but who knows?
Annihilation commencing. Interceptors.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, this game is over. So does this kill me or does it give me 5 armor? There it is. Alright, 2 and 3 after 5 games. Not very good. But double Protoss Priest is not the greatest run of games here. I still think Dragon Warrior's in a decent spot in the metagame, just you have to not play against a bunch of Protoss Priest. It's possible that, this metagame is just weird, though. It's kind of awkward. Like, I do like Imbue Rogue a little bit, but I'm not a super big fan of that deck. I think it's powerful, but I don't know. I think a lot of it is dependent on the quality of cards you get from your hero power. I kind of like Imbue Paladin right now. It's interesting to say the very least, and it's got some very powerful draws. I kind of like it with Curator, because then that draws you Violet Treasure Gill, and Treasure Gill can get you either Aegis, which imbues Acceleration Aura is pretty dope, as well as that can cast the stuff that you shuffle into your deck with your hero power. So very interesting to say the least. But yeah, Dragon Warrior, definitely still a contender. And I think as we get more dragons in the next set for Cataclysm, it's going to be even more relevant. I'm very excited to see if dragons expand much more outside of Warrior, because there's other dragons in other classes, but a lot of them aren't super, super playable. So, if the power gets spread out in terms of dragons, and then you can play like Peddler in other classes reasonably, then that could be pretty cool. But either way, I think Dragon Warrior is going to be a staple of the next metagame, at least unless we see something more powerful. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace and love. Catch you next time.